Hello, everybody. Welcome to Championship Match Week 33. Let's quickly touch on last week. So, Liam, how many points did you get? I think you might have gotten 6 points. Meanwhile, for me, I got 5 points. So the totals, that would mean I've gone to 211. Liam has gone to 207. So he's cut the gap to me by 1 point. Now let's swiftly move on to this week. Starting off with the Friday night game, Blackburn versus Preston. I think I'll start for this one. Um, with Blackburn, uh, I think this is a tough one to call already. I think Preston are doing well this season. Blackburn, the opposite end of the table, but starting to show a little bit of improvement. Blackburn, um, with a good away win last time around. I think that they will come up short though against Preston. 1-2.
Uh, I want to back Blackburn for this, but Preston are improving. Uh, Preston have won two of the last three games away at Blackburn, um, and I don't know. I just feel like Blackburn may have a slight new manager bounce. With Michael O'Neill, I'm just going to say 1-1.
All right, and now for Hull City versus QPR.
This, oh my god, this is one of four half-12 kickoffs for some reason. Hull haven't won. Oh, sorry, they've won only once at home in this calendar year so far. We're nearly in March. Not the home form you need. I'm going to have that to continue. The dodgy home form 2-2.
I think QPR's been pretty inconsistent recently, and Hull they were strong a couple of weeks ago, but the last two games not so strong. Um, I look at this one and I think this is one that could go either way. If I was to pick, I feel like this would be a close one. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 Hull City win. And now on to Stoke versus Leicester. Stoke descending down the table a bit. Their form is a little bit poor at the moment. Against a Leicester side whose form is also poor, 6 point deduction. And as of this moment, they are appealing it, but so is the Premier League. So there could be further punishment down the line, or they could have their punishment reduced. We don't know yet. We have to wait on the results of the appeal. In terms of the scoreline, I think Stoke will get back on track on this one. 2-1.
Yeah, I don't see Stoke. Hello. I don't see Stoke not winning. Leicester haven't kept a clean sheet for 26 games. That brings us back to game 7. So, unless my maths is wrong, which is highly likely, I can't see past Stoke for this one. 2-0.
All right, and now for Swansea v Bristol City.
Um, I just don't know with Bristol City at the moment. Swansea are playing well, just not always getting the results. But it's Bristol City I'm concerned about. Um, Sorry, I have a grumpy dog sat next to me. Um, I feel like it will be a pretty disappointing 1-1 draw.
I did originally look at this and think draw, but I look at the form table. I think both on and off, but Swansea with slightly the better form. So I am going to give this a narrow Swansea win, 1-0. All right, and now for West Brom versus Coventry. West Brom, I believe they are still winless against a Coventry side who got back on track last time around to Middlesbrough. Um, is this the start of a resurgence for Coventry, or is it a false dawn? I think it's the former. 1-3.
It's quite hard to see when West Brom will win under Eric Ramsey. They haven't won since the turn of the year. Yeah, I'm gonna take off the Coventry goal. I'm gonna say 2-1 to the away side.
Do you think he could be gone after this game, Ramsey? Clearly, his MLS football won't work in the Championship.
If they were 23rd, I'd say maybe, but they're not. So I think they'll
Mm.
stick with him because they don't want to look silly after sacking Ryan Mason, which was still the correct decision, but they've replaced him with someone worse.
I think with West Brom, obviously, you wouldn't expect them to be down there. I think as a club, they've massively underperformed this season. Looking in, I just think it's a bit of a chaos club at the moment. They need to turn it around soon. Now, let's move on to Middlesbrough versus Oxford.
Um, this could actually be a banana skin for Middlesbrough, and I think this is more about Borough than Oxford, truth be told. Um, but I just think they'll get back to winning ways. What do you want? I think they'll get back to winning ways with a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I think Oxford just not getting enough wins at the moment, truth be told. They are starting to get a bit cut adrift there in the bottom three, and I just don't see them cutting that gap between now and the end of the season. Next up, Middlesbrough. I just don't see them getting anything at all. Middlesbrough 2, Oxford 0. And another team that's up there versus another team that's down there. Millwall versus Portsmouth. Millwall, very, very strong this season as a whole. Showing some decent form. Could be a potential threat to Middlesbrough in second. Portsmouth, a bit inconsistent. Showing patches here and there, but nothing exemplary. I think Millwall will have a win here, 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, I think it'll be a 1 goal difference. Calm down. There'll be a 1 goal difference. I'm saying a Portsmouth goal. So I don't know why I've turned into Sean Dyche. 2-1 to Millwall.
All right, Paul Cook, thank you very much for that. And now let's get on to Norwich v Birmingham. Take it away, Paul Cook.
No, my name is not Paul Cook, but thank you for your support, your loyal support. I think Norwich will win this one because Birmingham do not convince me away from home. So I will say a 2-0 win to the Canaries.
Yeah, I think I look at their form here, and they have showed some really good form recently. 5 wins out of their last 6, scoring quite a lot of goals in that. But in terms of Birmingham, they're quite average, to be honest, but still they're in the playoff hunt. So it shows how competitive this league is this season. If Birmingham win this could be a massive boost for their playoff hopes. But I feel like this will be a scrappy one, 1-1. And now let's move on to Southampton versus Charlton. Southampton showing some really good form at the moment, rising up the table pretty quickly against a Charlton side that is on and off at the moment. In this one, I feel like this would be a potential banana skin for Southampton, but I'm going to give them a narrow win, 2-1.
I mean, this had, 5 Southampton goals in the first half in the reverse fixture, which was outstanding. Do I think it'll be anything like that? No, I don't. They have a favourable 4 games ahead of them before they play Coventry, Southampton. They're at home to Charlton and then QPR in midweek. Sheffield Wednesday away at the end of the month. And then they're away at West Brom in March after the FA Cup. So that's 4 good games. So you can see why the bookies have them to finish 6th at the moment. But then you look at that. Look at their run-in from there. You have Coventry, Oxford, Ipswich, Wrexham, Derby, and Bristol City all in that running. Oxford could be scrapping by that point, and the rest of them are all going to be fighting for either top two or the top six. So it's not going to be an easy run in, but the next 3-4 games for Southampton you feel will be make or break. So I think this will be a good start to that 4 games, but a tight 1-0 win.
Now for Watford versus Derby.
A couple of months ago I would have said it'll be a tough one for Derby because Watford have been known for decent home form, but they just haven't won in what 8 games. It's I don't know what's happened with Watford. And Derby have won every away game this year, so I mean all signs point one way. It's been 22 games since Derby haven't scored, so I think they'll make it 23 with a 3-1 away win.
Could you see an unexpected return for the Rams in the playoff this season? Definitely a strong case. They are currently in the top six, and you look at this against a pretty out of form at the moment, Watford. There's a lot of draws in there, but no wins. So, from a Derby point of view, who is currently up there in the away form table, I believe they're top in the away form table. I could be wrong on this. You just have to lick your lips if you're a Derby fan, and to be honest, I think they'll come away with a win, 1-2. Now for Wrexham versus Ipswich, this is a tough one. Wrexham just outside the playoffs, also on 48 like Derby, against an Ipswich side who, obviously, they have 2 games in hand over Middlesbrough and could really make a shout for even the title towards the end of the season if they win their games in hand. Um, I just think Ipswich will be a little too much for Wrexham here. Wrexham 1, Ipswich 2.
Uh, this is tough. I think this screams goals because Ipswich defensively aren't looking. Calm down. Ipswich defensively aren't looking perfect right now, and I've said it all season. I don't rate Wrexham's defence, so um, this could have goals galore, which wouldn't be out of character for a Wrexham game. They were denied a spot back in the playoff places by Bristol City late on in midweek, so I think they'll be hunting for the blood of Ipswich Town, and I'm going to go on a limb here. 3-2 home win.
All right. And now for Sheffield United versus Sheffield Wednesday, the Steel City Derby.
Well, it could happen before they even play, but I think it's quite evident it'll be bye-bye to Sheffield Wednesday. Um, they'll be down if West Brom beat Coventry, which is probably not going to happen. But they'll also be down if they fail to beat the Blades. So that is not going to be a pleasant day, is it? Sunday midday. So yeah, if you're a Sheffield Wednesday fan, yeah, this could be the worst day of your life. It could be a bloodbath. It could be a shock. Could be a Wednesday win out of nowhere. But I'm going for bloodbath 3-0.
Yeah, to get relegated against your rivals. Like, I know that they've had a tough run. I know they've had minus however many. I think it's like 10 point deduction. And you look at this, and even with all those deductions, this would hurt any fan to get relegated against your rivals. I think unless they can somehow get anything from this would probably be a game that Sheffield Wednesday fans look back on and think this is probably one of our worst days in the club's history. And I want to be a little optimistic for Sheffield Wednesday, but I've tried over and over again on the season to be a little optimistic for them to get the odd point here and there, but it'll be sad to see Sheffield Wednesday go. And yes, like you said, it could be confirmed even before they play. But I think, yeah, they'll be gone, unfortunately. I've gone for Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday nil. Now, for the score of the week, we picked the same player again. Um, at the moment, it's quite easy to pick the score of the week for whoever's playing against Sheffield Wednesday, and once again, we've both picked. we we've both picked a scorer who's playing against Sheffield Wednesday. We've It's Liam's week to switch this time, so I have gone for Patrick Bamford
Yeah,
as
I
my scorer.
initially went for Bamford. I thought if I wanted to switch away from Sheffield United, I would have chosen Derby because Carlton Morris has returned and he'll live a goal against Watford, especially getting injured against them. Then I also thought Wrexham because I had them to score three, and Sam Smith is in incredible form. But I just stuck with Sheffield United, which I'll probably regret now. I've gone Callum O'Hare.
All right, so that is it for yet another week, and we will be back at you for matchday 34. Bye bye.